The prayer of every parent is that God should provide for them children who will carry the name of the family aloft with pride and grace, and indeed jealously guard the legacies of the family long after they must have departed this world. For the late Madam Rebecca Anyomnike, mother of the wife of the governor of Delta State, Mrs. Raleigh UDUAGHAN, his prayers have been answered most resoundingly. Before late Madam Rebecca Anyomnike took her glorious exit from this world, she was blessed with children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren who gave her the very best in terms of everything that made life worth living and guaranteed peace of mind, and above all, a good name which towers heads and shoulders above earthly things. What else could Madam Rebecca Anyomnike have asked for in her 81 years sojourn in life, more than children who were shining stars in their different endeavors and callings in life? The executive governor of Delta State, Dr. EMMANUEL UDUAGHAN, demonstrated in every respect that the late Madam Rebecca Anyomnike was more than an in-law to him, as he deployed all the powers, privileges, connections within and outside Nigeria, and goodwill he commands as the chief executive of oil-rich Delta State, to give her a glorious rite of passage which will remain evergreen in the hearts of all the family members of the great woman who was described as a mother in a million. For 3 days, Warri played host to top dignitaries from far and near who came to pay their last respects to the mother of the wife of the Delta State Governor, Mrs. Raleigh UDUAGHAN. The first of the series of activities, a service of songs, took place at Madam Rebecca Anyomnike's residence in Warri. The main ingredient of the service was the praise and worship session and the rendition of special songs by the choir. There were also readings from the Holy Scripture at the service. The message was preached by Reverend C.F. Ugbede, the minister in charge of First Baptist Church Warri in Delta State. In the sermon, Reverend Ugbede thanked God for the life of Madam Rebecca Anyomnike's exemplary and eventful life, which he considered highly fulfilled and accomplished. He admonished the children and those Mama left behind to be steadfast and unwavering in their trust in God, like Mama, who served God till her very last moment. In their various tributes to Madam Rebecca Anyomnike, they eulogized Mama's uncommon love for mankind and absolute dedication to her family and community.
I happened to grow up in the hands of Mama when we were in number 4 College Road behind African Church in Daudu. As a child growing up in the hands of Mama, I grew to know her to be a very beautiful lady, caring, interested in the affairs of the home. And as we grew, he never played with us, his children that grew up with her.
Mother is a faithful woman. My mother taught me so many things. She taught me how to pray in Shekiri. Before, I don't know how to pray in Shekiri. She would say, just listen to me. She taught me how to pray in Shekiri. She taught me how to get myself ready on Sundays. On Saturday, my mother, I will see her getting ready for tomorrow's service. She will take her clothes. She will call her nanny, and even before the legs cannot make her to walk, she will be getting ready, packing her. She say, "Mommy, what are you doing?" He said, "Tomorrow's service." I appreciate her.
Special prayers were said for Madam Rebecca Anyomnike and all her children and family members before the service of songs wound down. Madam Rebecca Anyomnike was laid in state at her residence on Friday 10th August, where family members and friends of the family filed past her remains to pay her their last respects. Madam Rebecca Anyomnike was one of the most influential community leaders of the entire Ishekiri Kingdom in her most active days. Mama attended Baptist School Ogidigben and had training in sewing and catering before she got married to a Kano-based businessman, Mr. George Omayo from Koko in 1948, whom she lost most devastatingly just 3 years into their marriage. She was the only female among her mother's children. Mama was versed in trading, but she did not compromise her worship of God. She was a good chorister. Mama, who died on the 6th of July 2012, left behind 3 male and 3 female children, 13 grandchildren, 3 son-in-laws, and 1 grandson-in-law. The funeral service for the late Madam Rebecca Ayomnike took place at the First Baptist Church Warri at Baptist Mission Road, Warri, Delta State. The service, which attracted a huge assemblage of friends and well-wishers of the family from different parts of the country and beyond, began with a processional hymn as the remains of Mama were borne into the church by the Tunji Okunsoya-led MIC undertakers.
And then this incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must be on incorruption, and this mortal must be on immortality. So when this corruptible has put on incorruption, this mortal has put on immortality, then shall be brought back.
Renowned clergymen from the South-South region, including the chairman of CAN, Delta State, Reverend Gideon Oibo, and the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Pastor Ayo Orishajafo, and others, attended the church service. Among other dignitaries that attended the service were Nigeria's First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, who represented President Goodluck Jonathan, the governors of Cross River, Edo, Kaduna, Anambra, and the wives of the governors of Kaduna, Oyo, Kwara, Bayelsa, and Anambra, as well as other past and present public office holders. Former governors of Delta State, Chief Felix Ibu, Chief Olusegun Oshaba of Ogun State, and Chief Odige Oyegun of Edo State. Soul-lifting songs filled the air as soloists and the choir of First Baptist Church performed as the congregation listened with rapt attention. The last son of Madam Rebecca Ayomnike, Mr. Amajo Pinnick, who is the chairman of Delta State Sports Commission, read the biography of his mother at the service.
She loved her family life. She believed in the unity of the family. She went out of her way to attend family functions. She knew many of her relatives to the roots and was very good at visiting them. She was very happy at every opportunity she had to care for the children around her. She saw every son and daughter-in-law as her own child. One thing we miss about Mama is her food, the always delicacies. We will also not forget in a hurry her disciplinary attributes. Mama made sure every child was given responsibility in her childhood days.
A choir ministration preceded the preaching of the sermon, which was delivered by Pastor Orishajafo, National President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN. Pastor Orishajafo, who has a close relationship with Mama's family, attested to all the good qualities the whole world is celebrating in Madam Rebecca Ayomnike, whom he said lived the Christian life till her very last days. Pastor Orishajafo in his sermon reminded all that death is a debt that we all will surely pay when our time is up. Therefore, we must endeavor to live our lives as if the end will soon come.
For us, for some of us, we believe that a day will come when Jesus will return, and there are some people who will not fall asleep as at that point, who will be taken in the air. But generally, before that happens, if you're in this world, you will fall asleep. You have no control over that. It will happen one day. When you sleep, you wake up. So the truth is, waking up to me is not an issue. The issue to me is where you will wake up in the morning.
At the end of the sermon, Pastor Ayo Orishajafo prayed for the members of Mama's family. Warri Choral Society also performed at the service. In his remarks at the service, Governor EMMANUEL of Delta State, who was the chief host, thanked the First Lady and all those who found time to pay their last respects to Madam Rebecca Ayomnike, including President Goodluck Jonathan. Governor Uduaghan spoke glowingly of a woman he said he had a very close relationship with, and from whom he had learned a great lesson in humility and the need to always pray in any circumstance in life.
Because she was a real mother. She was not a mother-in-law to me. She was my mother. From the very first day I met her, when I was chasing one babe. She's still a babe. Till she died, she took me as a son, and I took her as a mother. You know, I've always said that passing through many of my challenges in life, especially becoming an adult, that there were 3 women who were always on their knees. My own biological mother, Mama herself, and of course my wife.
Dame Patience Goodluck Jonathan then read the special message of her husband at the service. In it, President Jonathan said, all Mama's family members should not grieve over the death of their mother, but should be consoled in the fact that Madam Rebecca Ayomnike lived a life that touched many people positively.
Mama Rebecca Ayomnike was a much loved mother, wife, daughter, and community leader. It has pleased the Lord for Mama Ayomnike to return to her grave at the ripe age of 81 years. She leaves behind fond memories of a life of virtue, honor, integrity, and diligence. Humanity should continue to remember her, especially for the quality of children our late mother left behind. As believers, we are comforted by the thought that Mama Ayomnike is resting peacefully with her Creator after a life well spent on earth.
At the end of the church service, Mama's body was taken amidst singing and dancing by the MIC pallbearers in a procession round major streets of Warri to Mama's residence where she was interred. Before she was interred in the new mausoleum built for her, a service was conducted by the clergy. The dust-to-dust rites were observed, with all the children and Mama's sons-in-laws paying their respects in turns. A grand reception was organized to formally end the official funeral rites of Madam Rebecca Ayomnike, which was attended by a sizable number of dignitaries, mainly from Delta State, the South, and other parts of the country and beyond. The main menu at the reception was music, and there was a large dose of it. In fact, the event could almost pass for a musical concert that featured some of the top acts on Nigerian music scene. The event began with the praise and worship song, then full-blast entertainment took center stage, with Inyanya, Tiwa Savage, Samuel Poso, and Asu Akiye taking turns to treat the audience with presentations from their rich musical repertoire.
Say
Governor EMMANUEL UDUAGHAN, his wife, other members of the family, and their friends also took to the dance floor to celebrate the life of their late mother. The very last program to cap the funeral rites for Madam Rebecca Ayomnike was held at the residence of one of Mama's sons, Amajo Pinnick. The event was attended by friends of the family from the sporting fraternity. Governor EMMANUEL UDUAGHAN was also at the event. With the kind of life Madam Rebecca Ayomnike lived, and the great celebration that attended her passage, she certainly must be rejoicing among the angels in the bosom of the Lord.